workers' comp and things like that aren't sexy, but it's like neither are taxes, but like you have to do them.
Very true.
And workers' comp you kind of have to have. So let's touch on that a little bit. Tell us what it is, why businesses need to have it.
Sure. Workers' compensation is a type of insurance, right, that businesses need to have to insure themselves when their employees have an on-the-job injury. And the requirements vary state to state. In Georgia, if you have 3 or more employees, you're required to have workers' comp insurance.
It's good to know.
Yep.
And can you tell us what like that covers as far as the basics, right? Because I know a lot of people are probably like, meh, what we do isn't really that dangerous, but there's a lot that can happen on the job.
Sure. Yeah. You know, even if you are talking about a job that doesn't seem inherently dangerous, I mean, there can be an on-the-job claim for carpal tunnel syndrome that you've gotten from just typing on your computer all day. I mean, it doesn't have to be a construction job or something like that in order for on-the-job injuries to happen.
Sure. Okay, so we've gotten the non-sexy part out of the way. But I loved, because I didn't know this about you, but you were saying you actually practiced law in workplace injuries.
Yep.
And you how long did you do that?
For 14 years.
Okay.
Almost 14 years, yep.
And then you were like, done with this, I want to work for myself. So tell us about that. Like what brought you to that decision and then the process to be able to do that?
Yeah. So I always wanted to be a lawyer. One of those annoying stories about the little kid that always said they were going to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
And graduated from law school and knew that I wanted to practice some type of litigation. The large majority of law is transactional. A very small percentage of it really is litigation. What you see on TV, going to court type of thing. And that's how I fell into workers' comp. People ask, oh, did you always want to be a workers' comp lawyer? I'm like, no, I don't think there's anyone that always wanted to be a workers' comp lawyer.
Yeah.
I did want to litigate, and that's how I fell into workers' comp. And I practiced workers' comp law at the same firm for almost 14 years.
Okay.
Took the traditional track, work, made partner, like all of those things, and loved it. And I still love workers' comp. But over the last few years, I sort of was having the thoughts and feelings that I think a lot of people do. Is this what I want to do for the rest of my working days? And though I still really love workers' comp and obviously know it very well, I sort of wanted to get out of the traditional law practice. So I made the move into consulting, where I'm still able to help businesses mitigate their risk and control their workers' comp costs, but without having to spend the time answering discovery and getting bogged down in all of the other minutia that comes along with practicing law.